Come to order. Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome, everyone. Roll call.
Everard.
Here.
Vice President Reservoir, absent. Secretary Zeller. Here. Treasurer Zimmerman.
Present.
Trustee Brady. Here. Trustee Leahy is absent, and Trustee Zurich.
Here. All right. Thank you. So before we get into the meeting, let's take a moment of silence for two loss of two really good supporters. We have William Hohenstein, trustee emeritus, and George Johnson. And I think you all recall George was actually, they're both, first of all, they were both over 100. George came every year to High Point. He would tour actually go out on the trail of High Point, was here this year at way to 101. So if you would please join me in a moment of silence in their memory. Thank you. All right. So to begin, we are going to recess for a public hearing to review the 27 combined annual budget and appropriation ordinance. So would somebody at 5.1 make that motion, please? For consideration of a motion?
Yeah, I'll make the motion to take a recess for the FY 2027 combined annual budget and appropriation ordinance.
I'll second.
Okay, we'll second it. Roll call?
Trustee Zurich.
Yes.
Treasurer Zimmerman.
Yes.
Trustee Brady.
Yes.
Secretary Zeller.
Yes.
And President Everard.
Yes. Right. So we're in recess for public input on the combined budget. Does anyone wish to speak about the budget?
Need a roll call.
Oh, pardon me.
Okay. President Everard.
Yes, here.
Secretary
Whatever.
Zeller.
Yes, here.
Treasurer Zimmerman.
Present.
Trustee Brady.
Here.
Trustee Zurich.
Here.
And Vice President Reservoir and Trustee Leahy are absent.
So anyone in the audience wish to speak regarding the budget?
It's a great budget. Anybody?
Is there anyone online, Amelia?
There is a guest online, but I don't know if they want to speak to the budget.
Yeah, I'm not seeing any raised hands online.
Just want to make sure, again, that they can turn off their microphone themselves if they do. They have the ability to do so.
Yes, they should have the ability to unmute themselves.
I don't see anybody in the.
Give it another 30 seconds, how's that? It said that my second hand is. All right. Hearing no comments, we'll close out and reconvene. So can I have a motion to reconvene the regular meeting?
Make motion.
Okay, moved by Mike, second by Sean.
Yep.
Trustee Brady.
Yes.
Secretary Zeller.
Yes.
Trustee Zurich.
Yes.
Treasurer Zimmerman.
Yes.
And President Everard.
Yes. You know, do we need, now we'll do public comments again,
Anything else?
deja vu. Are there any public comments? Anyone wishing? Are you sure?
I'm not seeing any raised hands online.
Okay, thanks. Mel. All right. We'll close that and we'll go on to new business. So review of regular meeting agenda items for February 24th. Anyone that wishes to table, remove anything from the proposed agenda?
I did not.
Any background anybody wants on anything?
Can I ask a question? The carbon credits for Bigfoot, how does that work?
Actually, we're gonna have a presentation on
Oh,
that.
yeah, okay, sorry.
And the answer is not well. Not working very well.
It's not working very well, okay?
All right, so the agenda will stand as proposed. All right, status update, comprehensive conservation plan with a vision to 2071. Mr. Kramer, if you would be so kind.
Much, yep. Let's see, you guys a quick update, as to where we are, kind of keep you all in the loop. The last few weeks have been preparing for what started last night. Last few weeks, we were putting all the documents together, all the posters, all of that for the community open houses. We hosted the first one last night at Lost Valley Visitor Center. Some of you were there. We estimate the attendance was somewhere around 70, and 70 members of the public. There were a lot of trustees and staff and members from the directors from the foundation board there. I tried to pull them out of my count, and that's about where it settled, somewhere around 65 to 70. Unfortunately, there were 2 entrances they could get in, so we'll have to count them all as it's like herding cats. But well attended, beautiful night in a remote location. Elizabeth just was coaching me not to be disappointed with having less than 100, because that was my target number. I wanted 100 there. We'll probably get that at McHenry County College. Okay. So that's the next thing that's happening on March 4th, 5 to 7 at McHenry County College is the next one. It will be very similar to the one that we had. Just it'll be a presentation, and then some tabling opportunities for people to interact. That's really was the big value last night. Was that a lot of people came out and dialogued both with Upland Designs team and with the Conservation District staff on different things. It was. I got to view it from the coordinator's perspective, which allowed me to float around and look and see some of the things. And it was impressive to see the dialogue going on between everybody. And even dialogue between 2 sets of people, people that didn't really know one another were dialoguing about things, and I was like, that's cool. That's bringing people together. So that happened last night. I'm going to back up and talk about, I think the last time I presented, we were right on the cusp of our stakeholders meetings. We did have 2 stakeholders meetings, and there I think we had about 40 people. There were 2 different meetings, about 40 different organizations represented, and the gambit of it. I mean, it was everything from agriculture to historic preservation to snowmobile associate or recreation enthusiasts, equestrians. A tremendous turnout from the conservation community was there, and it was. One of the most valuable things that comes out of that is all of those people in the same room realizing that there are other perspectives on the site that they normally go and use. And I thought that was so cool to just hear that dialogue.
So if I could just add there were several park districts there too.
Oh, yeah.
And, the spirit of cooperation and collaboration, and they were saying, well, wait a minute, why can't we hook this to that?
Yeah.
And we're really getting rid of that.
That is the advantage of that kind of. The synergy in that room was just incredible. So, a good comment that to see those kinds of things. So the technical advisory group has met, the stakeholders have met, they've given their input. Now we're out reaching out to the community. Last night was first night of that. We'll do the next one in a couple of weeks. We're turning gears now to preparing for the next phase of community engagement. I'll be showing this poster in a minute to kind of identify where we are. But the next phase of things is the tabling events, where we were kicking one off at the Festival of Sugar Maples in a couple of weeks. So those will be attended by Upland, they'll be attended by staff, and those will continue into the summer. We've identified some big ones that we know we'll have a lot of public at. And so, we're looking for those opportunities as well. The other next big thing is to work with the Upland team on preparing the survey that's gonna go out. Initially, it'll go out just to a targeted group of people, random targeting, but I mean, just we wanted a statistically valid survey. And then after that, it will be released to the general public for a few weeks. We're not sure the exact amount of time on that yet. We're signing that right now. So those are the things that are coming, some coming attractions on it. I do want to point out, this was a poster that was out there and I thought, well, I'm gonna grab it and show it to the board tonight. These are the 8 steps in this process, okay? And we started this we started with step number 1 in the early or mid-fall, somewhere in October. We approved a contract with them in September. We immediately started collecting the data. So that was the initiation, the project management, the kickoff meetings, all of that stuff happened in the fall. Then in the winter months, we got into the inventory and resource analysis. They've been taking a boatload of information that we gave them and beginning to synthesize it. We're getting questions back. What do you mean about this? What do you mean about that? What is this? One of the most interesting ones that happened is, what are all of these abbreviations? You know, and you know, you've seen it in our it's jargon in some respects. So we had to go back and define some of those things for these folks. We now, and this is the point where we are, we're in the stakeholder and public engagement opportunity. That's where we are. So we're right on, we're at about step 3 there. And we're beginning to move into this step 4, which is the needs assessment and analysis of all that data. That's where we're headed to. I sat and had an impromptu and frank conversation with the project manager, Liz is her name, she's with Upland Design. And it was just the 2 of us, and I said, my assessment is that we are right on track. And she said, that's exactly right. She said, you guys have been producing the information quickly. She said, a lot of times the stall is that the agency believes it can happen much faster and doesn't realize how much time getting all of this information to them is. And I said that to her, I said, I could see that coming. And I pressed Gabe and Caitlin, and they started getting all of that information and data together early. And so we were able to deliver it on a timely basis. So this is where we are about in step 3. In the summer, we'll be moving through step 4 and 5. In the early fall, we'll be in 6 and 7. In the winter, we'll be in 8. About a year from now, we'll be hopefully coming back with a plan and say, hey, looking for your endorsement. So I thought this was a thing I would share. Gives you the entire perspective as we're moving through this. Any questions?
I have maybe one question. So we were trying to get people's input on what they like, what they don't like.
Mhm.
Is there like a suggestion box that's on the
Yes.
trailheads and stuff like that?
We don't have them out there. We have
Okay.
those, my guess is we will have the QR codes out there so people can do that kind of stuff. They can see it. They're gonna know that this information, that we are doing this process and gathering this input. So they can go to that QR code, and we're hoping they'll just implement it that way. But for people who are less technically savvy, which I'm one of them, we also have comment cards and those kinds of things that we can hand out to people and they can take away. At the tabling events, there's going to be like this mini survey that everybody can just, again, they can scan it, okay, and it's 5 or 6 questions. I think that's all been designed already so that they can start giving us this input. Because as you pointed out, Paul, this is the phase where we need to be gathering that information, because once we get into here, this is the visioning phase and this is the planning phase here. By that point in time, we pretty much sunset bringing in any additional.
And there were also in the back room, there were 2 big whiteboards where people were able to take Post-it notes. It was called the Big Idea. If they had any big ideas,
Yep.
and both of those were full.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't
yeah,
know what was. I don't.
Awesome.
And then they had sort of a survey thing where they had like baskets, and you put a ping pong ball or something.
priorities, yeah.
And each one is a way to vote
Yep.
for what you wanted to see more of. So a couple different ways
Yep.
to gather more information.
Yeah, I thought that was a slick tool, a way to. Me, I'm a very pragmatic person, and that is, I understand that you can't do everything everybody wants all the time. You just can't afford it. So if you can help people decide what they feel is the most important, that's going to be a guiding tool for the planning process and for you to say, okay, I get it. people prioritize, land acquisition over X, Y, or Z, or whatever it is, but that, I'm always one about that, and I like that approach, that when they shared that, I said, that's a great tool. We'll get that out in front of them, and that'll help guide decisions.
All right. Any other questions?
All right, good enough.
Thanks, John. Appreciate it. All right. Next up, let's have Bigfoot Woods expiration of carbon credit. So Paul, here you ask you shall receive.
Yeah. All right, so what we needed to do is get this in front of the board before we spend a whole bunch of staff time really diving into it. But as you're aware, in our strategic plan tactic 1.1E talks about exploring carbon credits. And after the acquisition of the Bigfoot Woods Oak Legacy project, we thought that this could fit a carbon credit project, specifically city forest credits tree preservation project. And we worked with the foundation to have a similar project at Camp Lakota. So we have experience, and that's why we thought that this one would work. Specifically for tree preservation projects, it is to preserve oaks that would be under the threat of development. And that parcel, as everyone is aware of, has pressures around the outside, and then it was also sliced up to be developed. I think it was 6, 7 parcels, so 5 parcels. So it has what they would need for that tree preservation protocol. So that's why we thought that it would be a candidate for it, and wanted to see if the board had any reservations with that. The idea for the mechanism would be to have the district is the owner, but this protocol allows for an operator, and Foundation was the operator and owner for Camp Lakota. They've already gone through the process with city forest credits of being in the registry, so there'd be cost savings. And then also we thought that the district would want to be a competitor with the foundation, so we have an idea of having them be the operator of those credits while the district was an owner. And in the board summary, provided some of the data that I'm sure people had questions about what the potential sale of a credit would be. The estimate, based on our experience with Camp Lakota, is we'd probably be around the 9,000 carbon credit figure, whereas we're at 11,600 for Lakota. That's just taking a look at the 2 acreages and the data that we received from the Camp Lakota project. So it could be, if we just did the lowest number, $22-ish per credit, could be upwards around $200,000. That's 198, but around about 200. So that's kind of the range that could receive. I guess the risk there is the current environment for these carbon credits is very low. There's not a lot of demand for them, but we've seen that swing back and forth, and it could just be temporary state. You have to do the application within 2 years of acquisition of the preservation project for that protocol. So the clock is ticking, it's already been preserved. And the first application cycle, they've not posted it yet, but based on previous cycles, we're thinking that it's going to be in June. So we just wanted to get ahead of it, start working on it if the board thought that was a good thing to pursue.
In the application process, like 3,200 or something, is that
3,200? Oh, dollars?
There's a fee to
Yes,
get
so there would be a
not much.
well, that was based on past data. They haven't posted it yet, but it's $3,000 for the application fee, $3,000 for the verification. So that's part of the process.
Yeah. But money well invested if you know.
Do the credits expire? I mean, if.
No.
Oh, that's nice.
And the value of the credits have gone down the marketplace. You know, they were one time, what, $80. Now they're down to a range of what you say, 20 to 40 or something.
City Forest credits posts the range of 22 to 45. And it would be valuable to let the board know that the foundation for the Camp Lakota credits, they're working with a broker. So they moved away from trying to sell them themselves and have somebody sell them on the marketplace. So again, you can get a whole bunch of credits together. So the larger businesses want large volumes. So if you pull them together, the brokers can sell. They're obviously going to take a little bit of cut, but so far we've not been able to sell any. The foundation has not been able to sell it. So
Anybody have any objections to proceeding going forward to try and secure the credits? You know, go through the application process.
Is there any issue with us pursuing foundation being operator, district being owner?
That makes sense and not be in competition with one another.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I like the fact that they don't expire because, you know, with the change of administration, you're gonna see the pricing go up. So that's great. We can, you know, try to sell them, but maybe reserve them too.
Okay, all systems full.
Got everything we needed?
Yeah, I still don't understand it, but that's okay. I don't wanna,
Well, you know,
it'll be a long.
but it's somewhat like the wetland mitigation thing.
So I guess one thing I did say is this is a voluntary market, whereas wetland mitigation is a regulatory market. So essentially it's companies, they understand that they're utilizing carbon, placing carbon in the atmosphere. So they compensate with a goodwill effort to mitigate those impacts.
So they'll give us money as a,
Yeah, preserving the trees and
Yeah,
and then we do a large documentation process of the carbon that's stored in those trees. So if that entire woods have been cleared out, there'll be loss of carbon. So preserving that is gonna be having a sink, essentially a carbon sink.
And in particular, international companies, annually, they have to put their sustainability report as a part of their annual report. So they can offset if they have a known pollution source of carbon, like smoke or something, they can say, okay, we've purchased these to offset it, so that in their report, they can put 0, and then with an asterisk that they've purchased credits.
understood, thank you.
There's a lot of companies that are trying to get net zero.
Yeah,
Like that
right,
for long term.
okay. Thank you.
Okay, yeah, proceed. Great, thank you. Right, executive director's report. Elizabeth, what you got?
Okay, first off, we had good news, and I think I had mentioned before, we had some congressional funding. This is our second year. We went up to bat last year, and with the president's budget, it did not happen. But we were visited, Congressman Schneider presented a check to the district. You can see here our photographs, so thank you, President Everard, and our land preservation Director of Land Preservation and Natural Resources, Dave Collins, was there with the team to receive this large check for $300,000. He did take it back at the meeting. But was really excited to come out and make the presentation. And so this is for the Silver Creek Habitat Restoration and Flood Reduction Project. They did a little video, so I don't know, I'm sure it'll go up on social media that Congressman Schneider will be airing, but it's just restore the wetland and prairie habitats along the Silver Creek through brush removal, stream bank plantings, and floodplain enhancement. So we're really excited to be able to do some great work. He was very much to identify it is in the Greater Hackmatack National Wildlife Refuge area, which he's very proud of, and just loves coming back out to the district and support for conservation. So we're grateful for that. The other, we've not got a check presentation, but we did get word as well that with Congresswoman Schakowsky, $850,000 for the Fox Bluff conservation area for the Camp Algonquin area. And so that project funding will provide for meaningful improvements to the Fox Bluff conservation area, furthering public access to the Fox River and the broader area. Specific planned improvements include a dedicated access road and public parking facilities, public access to the Fox River, development of scenic trails throughout the area, allowing visitors to explore the natural beauty of Fox Bluff Conservation Area while promoting physical activity and outdoor education, establishment of a communal gathering space, providing gathering areas for events, educational programs, and community engagement initiatives. It also includes plans to demolish one of the existing structures to make way for improvements and renovation of a building historically that was part of the Camp Algonquin area. Now, the original request, our first go around was at $3.6 million. So in reading all those wonderful things that we would like to see happen and what the proposal was, $850,000 doesn't get us there, but it's a start on some. So but we appreciate Congresswoman Schakowsky advancing that forward as well, and our staff teams on both sides of both natural resources and operations to bring both of those projects out and available.
And I think we were really fortunate with Schakowsky's, because if you look at her congressional district, I mean, this is like the last 10 feet of her district. I mean, it's just, and she's retiring. So, it's like, this is like the last hurrah on the way out. So we should be grateful.
No, we read that. Let's see here. The other that I had here, just as an update, and then I've got some other announcements before, but let me go through this. So cell tower lease At Felpro Triple R, Val, do you want to kind of highlight that, or do you want me to?
Well, so this lease has been in place since 1994, prior to our acquisition of the property. And so we got a notice just last January that they wanted to cancel the lease. Part of the property, part of the tower is on our property, part of it is on a neighboring property. So we don't, I mean, this happened all before we acquired it. So we don't have total control to say yes, no, renegotiate or anything about it. I talked to the agent for SBA and they said they're underwater with it. And so just their protocol is they've got 30 days to terminate, to remove the tower, or we'll get paid. It won't terminate until they remove the tower, but it doesn't take them long. They're paid through the end of September. We get paid annually. And so we're paid through the end of September. There could be some potential to renegotiate, but that remains to be seen.
There's 27,000 or something.
27,000 would be the rent that's due on October 1st of.
Thank
Thank you. Just want to make sure the board was informed of where that was in play and what the efforts will be going forward on that. A few other things just to highlight. Again, I just want to thank John and the entire leadership team, executive leadership and the board for the Forward to 2040 plan. The planning and working with Upland is going very well. As you saw the timeline, it's all staff has really leaned into this to do the work. And when you've got engagement across the organization and by the community, you're going to end up with a good result. So there will be work ahead for us in those difficult decisions that will need to be made. But again, we just want to make sure and get the word out. We want to hear from everyone. And there should be at the end of this that, you know, well, I didn't know about it. We don't want that to be the case, right? We want to make sure that this is their opportunity, and there'll be many times to share. The other good lift that was there is we underwent a registration software change that was led by the team, and then I just credit marketing Caitlin's leadership and bringing in all the stakeholders of the district to make that transition. And it's going to offer so many wonderful new opportunities for the public to easily access and register. We launched it with our camp registration, and again, it worked wonderfully. If you're looking for campground registration or to look at the picnic shelters, it's very friendly, user friendly, and yeah, just a shout out for that. So that's a great improvement. And then we'll go into as we get into the spring registration summer, right? So the rest of the programs. Spring landscape is out. So again, camps are in there, but a lot of great, wonderful opportunities. Let's see here. We met just right before this meeting with the Village of Union, their mayor, and they are interested in citing basically to bring tourism to the downtown Union area. They've got the Railway Museum, they've got a lot of the Historical Society, and museum is downtown, and some restaurants, and really trying to drive traffic. And they would love to see a depot stop or at least a platform area in the downtown area. So we met with them, and it was a great discussion, because sometimes maybe what information about not necessarily what is out there. So we had a really good meeting. So I, again, appreciate President Everard to land that and bring that to show, and then we had our staff being able to show maps and things like that, and pictures worth 1,000 words. So of that. So again, more to come on that front. I know that McCog is meeting, so several of you will be attending Village of Union. They'll be hosting that event. IDPD, we have on the 27th of February at the Mundelein Park District is a legislative outreach day. So again, I believe Supervisor, you were going to join us, and Gabe's going to join us. So we're going to be meeting with them. And then save the dates. I'd want to know if Parks Day at the state capitol is on May 4th and 5th. The 4th is we meet with our legislators, and we're in the rotunda with some displays, and then there's a reception, and then there's a legislative conference of information that's the following day. So registration just opened. If a board member has an interest, please let us know. So we booked a couple hotel rooms just in case, but usually we'll drive down on the day one, and then we'll turn around and come right back the following day up. So highly recommend that. And what else did I have for the group? The Land Conservancy is also doing their annual, it's their 35th year. So I did share this, if any board member was interested in attending that event, it is on April 12th. I'll send it out again, but I need to, if you're gonna go, you wanna get the early bird rate. Okay. And that is all. And oh, next week, I will be out at the teaching at the Epley Parks for Public Lands, Lipty in Pokagon State Park for the Women in Parks Leadership Program. Gabe will be serving as director. And so I will not be here. You're in good hands.
Thank
That's all I
you.
have. Yeah.
All right, trustees report. Usually do that at the regular. Yeah, I'll bring up my note here. So yesterday.
Got one more.
Oh, I'm sorry, pardon me.
So I did put on the agenda because we did have the state conference. We appreciate, we had 2 trustees that joined us for the conference. And I just thought it might be a great opportunity to share maybe your takeaways from that. And I know there were some documents, et cetera, that were shared and put out in the resource folder. But you want to go first?
Sure, yeah. Yeah, it was wonderful. Had a amazing time. I attended 6 sessions over those couple days, along with the awards luncheon on that Friday, along with thanks to, I don't know if Andrew's on, but thanks to Andrew and Trustler for their social that they had at Gibson's. It was amazing. So that was a lot of fun to get to just talk with them and meet other districts that they represent. So that was really good. Let's see what else. Thanks to Elizabeth, Jenny, Caitlin, Maddie, Juan, and Amelia. We had a good time, great conversations over dinner and getting to go to the social hours and everything. It was just great getting to know staff individually. And I have to tell you, I know Amelia fixed your computer. She can also rip an engine out of a car.
Yeah.
She is an amazing art girl. So I had fun talking with her about that too. That was kind of neat. I just remember you talking about your computer earlier today. So you know, just outstanding. The staff just represents this district with such integrity and professionalism. I did sit in on the closing case for Bison Brenna. She, I mean, just had the room just glued to every word she was saying. It was just so impressive that, I mean, there were so many questions at the end. She ran out of time, I think, you know, and had a line wanting to talk to her. So it was really neat. And Elizabeth, you know, she was under the weather a little bit, but she barreled through every minute and social hours and afterwards. And so just a really good time. I encourage any trustee, if you can make even one day, you do it. You're just surrounded by amazing people that just inspire you, whether you're staff, whether you're a board member, just to continue on that passion. So thank you.
And I echo everything Sean just said. I was going to say, Liz, Caitlin, Brenna, the whole team, of course, Amelia, and it was just so amazing. And I was also recommending that Brenna give us like a 10-minute spiel to the board of her presentation because it was so informative, things I didn't even know about the bison, and it's just very well done, and like to Sean's point, they couldn't stop asking questions. Nice. So she had a huge line. The other takeaway I did is I did attend many sessions. I attended some of the legal sessions that Jason Anselman, the general counsel of IAPD, hosted. And what's interesting is other park districts are kind of facing, you know, similar issues we have, like with e-bikes. E-motos is a big issue. I guess a couple of people have ripped up golf courses with them and destroyed park property. I guess there's discussions possibly going to Lexi Julius's office about, you know, regulating these things because technically they can go over 60 miles an hour and these kids are driving them and they're technically more of a vehicle than a bicycle. So there's been a lot of talk about that. The whole FOIA
requests came out. They said watch your spam folders because you don't want to miss FOIA requests because there's consequences, and quite a few parks districts and different districts did chime in about some of the penalties they paid. So I thought some of those takeaways were very informative, but yeah, the board leadership programs, very well done. I really understand PTEL, so their tax levies is, so, you know, the light bulbs really go off. I attended quite a few of those sessions, so yeah, overall, I highly encourage other board members to go.
Well, can we take that suggestion about having the bison presentation, add that to an upcoming agenda?
Do that, be great.
Great. All right, well, thank you. Anything else? Anybody else, Steph? All right. Thank you very much for those reports. Right. Last night at the open house, it occurred to me that in March, the board meeting is during spring break. So I wanted to explore the idea of combining the cow and the board meeting for March, so that frees up that whole week. So we would have two meetings essentially on the 19th, the week before spring break. We'd have the cow meeting, adjourn, and then reconvene and have our regular meeting.
Well, we won't even need to do the cow. We'll just have one meeting.
Oh, okay,
Just the one meeting, regular meeting, and we'll skip.
okay. If we can vote on things that, okay.
Just
All right.
be, yeah.
Good deal. All right, so that brings up, so everybody can have that week and go do something fun. Good deal. All right. Public comments? We have any, before we go, any trustees? Have any other reports? I think we do that at the other meeting. So Amelia, I'll ask anybody with their hand in the air?
I'm not seeing any raised hands online.
Okay, great, thank you. All right, we have a motion to go into executive session pursuant to 20C11.
Move to go into executive session.
All right.
I'll second.
Seconded by Nora?
Treasurer Zimmerman,
Yes.
Secretary Zeller. Yes. Trustee Brady. Yes. Trustee Zurich.
Yes.
President Everard.
Yes.
All right, and we have no action, so we're going to adjourn to executive session. There's no action afterwards. We'll be back together next, we'll come back open, and then we'll just adjourn. We'll be back together again next Tuesday.
Okay, roll call?
Okay. President Everard.
Here.
Secretary Zeller. Here. Treasurer Zimmerman.
Present.
Trustee Brady. Here. And Trustee Zurich.
Here. All right, seeing no agenda items, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn the whole meeting. Thursday the 19th.
A second.
Second to adjourn?
Secretary Zeller. Yes. Trustee Brady. Yes. Treasurer Zimmerman.
Yes.
Trustee Zurich.
Yes.
President Everard.
Yes. We adjourn.
Bye.